Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear humanity, good afternoon, good morning, or whichever part of the world you are in. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. Well, I've come again today to talk about health. Health. We are going to look at what responsibilities do you have as an individual yourself for your own health? What responsibilities do you have for your own health? And what do you know about your health? And the other question is, how are you supposed to look after your health as well as the well-being of our societies to prevent what we call recklessness recklessness, which may end up hurting others. Before we start, we are going to look at major factors that affects human health as well as our societies as human beings. When we talk of factors or things that affect our health, the most important and common factor or which causes instability in our societies is the forbidden alcohol. Alcohol is one of the most common used drug or intoxicant or whatever intoxicant that is used by human beings, but people have been using alcohol without really understanding how dangerous that alcohol is to a human body as well as to society and to future generations as well. So today, as I said, we are looking at health, our personal health, you as an individual health, how you manage it. Have you surrendered it to other people to look after your health, or you should be reminded that the responsibility to look after your health, your well-being, lies solely, entirely to you alone as an individual. Because not all what you call caregivers or what you call doctors, physicians, and physicians, and what have you, the people who say that you people you run to look after your health, they are there only to kind of advise you that it's important that you take your own responsibility, personal responsibility, to manage your health the way that has been prescribed by divine holy law. When we speak of a prescription of a divine holy law, we look at laws, divine holy prescriptions, which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah, and those divine holy prescriptions are found in the Holy Book or the Holy Quran. Because the topic we are talking about is health. You as an individual, you as a human being, how do you manage your health on a daily, day-to-day basis or hour-to-hour basis? Do you run to a doctor to give you tablets? Do you run to a shop to pick cans and tons of alcohol? And then do you commit crime by driving after when you are already drunk and you get into the car, driving at a speed of 140 in a 20 speed kilometer limit zone? These are things that we have to look at, you and I discuss, and see whether we can come to a solution whereby that you as an individual, you are responsible for your own health. You are the same way you are responsible to lie down and sleep in your bed, that you are responsible to make sure that you do not contaminate your blood or your system, your body, with intoxicants like alcohol, drugs, and what have you. Because some of you we've been through what we call the festive seasons. Festive seasons, they include, people think that what you call festive seasons is to get blasted with alcohol, or to get wasted, or to get spoiled and wasted with alcohol. Not forgetting that the next day, when you've spent the whole night binge drinking of alcohol, when you try to lift your head off the pillow, you find that it's pounding with headache. You find that your head is pounding with headache, or hangover headache, and your body is also in tatters. It is in tatters. So, this is what I'm saying today, is that alcohol has been forbidden by a holy divine prescription and a holy divine law, which was laid down, which was set as a prohibition to human beings, that do not consume alcohol or do not put alcohol in your bodies, because the devastating effects of alcohol on a human body are they cross from one human to another. For instance, when you are drunk, you can easily get into a car, because you have a car. You can easily get into a car not knowing that because alcohol makes you forget that you are drunk, or it makes you think that you are drunk. And sometimes the alcohol makes men and women think that they are supermen or superwomen. That delusion, that when the brain becomes when the brain neurons are what we call in a partial paralysis. Yeah? Where a partial paralysis is when a human the brain is half disabled, and the other half is kind of sparking some whatever, that maybe you can drive. You can drive. So, because the brain is in a state of partial paralysis, you cannot reason at all. You cannot make sense of or make sense of any, or articulate any sense of reasoning accountability, even to make a decision like driving while you are under the influence of alcohol, because your brain is in partial paralysis. So, being under the influence or drunk with alcohol, you end up jumping into a car and start driving, and you drive at 140 kilometers per hour in a speed limit zone of 20 kilometers per hour. Those are what we call irresponsible, and those are the deadly effects of alcohol in a human body. Because once you put alcohol in your body, you lose any sense of accountability of your own self, as well as the accountability to reason to the accountability to reason about other people in your societies or communities. So, as I said, as an individual, a young woman, a young man, if you didn't know about alcohol, alcohol is forbidden by a divine holy law, which was laid down by He who created your bodies. And He said, human beings, do not put alcohol in your bodies. Do not consume alcohol. Because once alcohol enters your body, it disables all red and white blood cell electrical spasms that carry messages and operate the body, the human body. Once the electrical spasms of the red and white blood cells are disabled, then automatically that makes the brain neurons in your brain disabled, or they go into what we call partial paralysis. Once your brain is in partial paralysis, I'll tell you, you cannot even stand on your two legs properly, because you'll be staggering. And if you start trying to stand up and you stagger, that tells you that you cannot even recognize your own body. You cannot even articulate reason of any meaningful speech towards, if you are asked a question, you cannot articulate reasoning or response to reason and accountability to what comes out of your mouth as an answer to if you are asked a question. So the reasoning accountability of all senses of your body are disabled, except for a portion that tells you, oh, you have a car. I think you can drive. You're a Superman. You're a Superman, you're a Superwoman. And you jump into the car and you drive at 140 kilometers per hour in a 20 kilometer zone speed limit per hour. So, young women and young men, alcohol is forbidden by a holy divine law, which is found in the Holy Quran. Many of you maybe don't know what the Holy Quran is. The Holy Quran is a holy book which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Holy Quran is in the common man's language what you call a manual for human beings to look and study and know what are these prescribed regulations and regulations and rules of how human beings should live in their bodies, as well as in their societies, as well as bringing up children and maintaining the beauty of peace and harmony to every member of your society or your family, as well as every member of every society member, that includes Either you are black or white or Chinese or American or Russian or Australian or English or French or Spanish or Portuguese. You are all one human race. You are all human beings. You are a species called human beings. The only difference is that some human beings are on a different latitude or longitude on this planet Earth. And being on a different latitude, that interprets or translates that you might have a different way you speak, you communicate, the way you speak the words will be a little bit different from the French, how he speaks, or the English, the language he speaks, and so on and so on. But if you were to find out more about what those people who are using that language, as I said, because of they're on a different latitude on planet Earth, and they are on a different longitude on planet Earth. It's like the same as you say. There are people who live in Washington, D.C. There are people who live in Chicago. There are people who live in New York. There are people who live in Massachusetts. There are people who live in London. There are people who live in Paris. There are people who live in Brussels. There are people who live in Madrid. That's what we mean when we talk of different latitude, different part. That means you are all human beings with a mental development that allows you to recognize that you know very well that if you travel from London to New York, there are human beings there. The fact that you know that when you travel to New York, you are going to meet human beings. That allows you to understand that was the same way you meet a human being of New York, the same way you would go to China, the same way you go to Russia and interact, because humans can always interact with humans and come to an understanding. Because you cannot interact with a tree. You cannot speak to you cannot interact with a dog and tell the dog, my dog, I've been to Hong Kong today, and you don't do that. The dog will not understand your language. It will look at you and say, I think this man is so the reason why we give human beings a special or a percentage of mental development is to use their heads and articulate and think, to refrain and withdraw from things that have been forbidden. For instance, bloodshed has been forbidden. They do not shed blood of one another as human beings. Do not shed blood of one another. Do not spill blood of one another. Do not consume alcohol of one another. Do not consume alcohol, because once alcohol enters your body, it alters everything. That's why when a human being is drunk, cannot even express, make meaningful speech. If she or he is asked any question. For your information, if someone is drunk and he has children at home, he may stagger and get to eat whatever to his house, but he won't be able to recognize that these are my children. He will go staggering until he ends up at the door of his house, and they open and he falls on the floor in his house. After a few minutes, he will pick himself up, and he will not be able to recognize that this is my wife, this is my daughter. So that is alcohol. It has been forbidden for human beings to consume alcohol, to put alcohol in their bodies. Okay, we are going to go back about the festive periods, which was Christmas and the New Year. Many of you, as I said, you celebrated the whole New Year's Eve as well, the whole of the periods of Christmas. And after Christmas, the next day, many of you couldn't wake up. They couldn't lift their heads off the pillow because of pounding headache, hangover headache in their brains, in their heads. That was caused because the brain neurons were damaged. Your brain neurons were damaged by alcohol which you consumed, not knowing that you were hurting yourself. Because once a brain neuron goes in, however small the time is, however small the time is, any partial paralysis of the brain neuron is very deadly to the human health, because it causes the malfunction of other organs in the human body, causing the heart to lose its space, the kidneys to lose its space, the blood, red and white blood cells to lose all their sequencing rotations to carry electrical spasms to parts of the body that person, when the brain goes, the brain neurons that goes into partial paralysis, that person is halfway dead, but with a very percentage that he can stagger. When we don't walk, a person who is drunk, it is not walking. She's staggering, or he is staggering. So, my people, we started the question is, what are your responsibilities to you self as an individual? You as an individual, to your own self, your health. What are your responsibilities? Do you know your responsibilities? Do you know that you are not supposed to go and say, I did have alcohol, I drank so much that I need tablets to calm the headache, the headache or the headache that I'm having. Because once you have the hangover headaches are symptoms. There are symptoms from your own brain to you, to the entire body of your system, to your entire body, and to your own whatever, that your brain was damaged. Your brain neurons were damaged. Your brain neurons were damaged. But when you say, you go to the whatever physician and say, I had, he will say, you certainly tell him, I have a headache. And say, the physician or the doctor will say, how long is it been gone? 3 days. Did you have a lot of to drink? Some people, they say, they may admit and say, yes, I had a lot of to drink. Some people will say, no. If you had a lot of to drink, you don't need any more of this medicine into your body or painkillers, because you are already, the entire blood system is already kind of in a state of poison, is circulated with poisonous or toxic gunk toxins of alcohol. If you go into a pharmacist and say, I've had a headache for 3 days, and I think it started with excessive drinking, and you end up in a doctor, whatever, and they say, if the headache is not going, it should not go because the brain was damaged. Your brain neurons were damaged. Were damaged because they went into partial paralysis, and partial paralysis, if it goes 1 to 2 seconds or 4 seconds, that leads to many complications within your own brain, as well as the entire human red and white blood system. There are sequencing rotations of the red and blood cells, as well as the electrical spasms, come out of their natural sequencing rotation order. So you become ill because the brain neurons were damaged, and the brain neurons takes a long time to repair themselves. It's not as if you have a wound on your skin that a few days it will dry up and whatever. The brain is not like that. Many of you, the reason why we put the brain and protected it from any whatever is because of its delicate assembling. The reason why we seal the skull and protected, even we added the extra protection by hair, so that hair, if you had hair and you whatever, that hair protects you from what we call concussions, or the brain being put out of whatever, because of its delicate assembling. So human beings, you may not hit your head on the wall by whatever, but if you are drinking alcohol, to the fact that you wake up the next day that your head is very, very painful, you have what you call hangover headaches. That tells you that what you are doing while you're drinking is as if you are someone lifted a 500 kilogram stone and started hitting your head, every part of your head. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. When you drink alcohol, it's as if someone has picked up a 500 kilogram stone and started hitting your head, your brain, every section of your head, making your brain to be mashed up, causing the neurons to go out of action or disabled. That's what causes the headache. Alcohol does it the other way around. It starves the brain neurons, and they become disabled, cut off from any kind of supply of electrical spasms, which leads to a human being to lose any sense of reasoning accountability, to lose any sense of reasoning accountability of themselves as well as anything around them. So my people, I would advise young men and women that alcohol is not good for you. It's not good to be put in a human body, because once you do it, or maybe 3-4 times a week, it's as if you are, every time you pick a bottle of alcohol, it's a self-administered dementia, or a self-administered whatever for to lose your kidney. Do you understand? When you pick a bottle of alcohol, it's as if you are taking whatever to kill your kidney, or to register yourself as in maybe 2-3 years or less than a year, you'll be admitted to hospital with dementia symptoms. And alcohol does so much damage to the human body, because it causes even what you call degradation of the muscle tissues, degradation of body muscle tissues. That if you are an alcohol user, your muscles will lose what we call any ability to grow or to renew themselves, because alcohol will circulate in every part of your body, causing what we call people, they suffer from what we call arthritis, joints clogged with toxic gunk toxins of alcohol. So you end up contracting arthritis in your back, in your backbone, in your knees, in your fingers, and every part of your body, including your neck. Because alcohol goes to every section of your body, your body. Because what happens when alcohol gets into the human body, after disabling the red and white blood cells, it attaches itself to the red and white blood cells, and it attacks and destroys all the sequencing rotational mechanisms and the electrospasm, wherever the white or red blood cell goes, it goes with that white blood cell or red cell, and it deposits its toxic gunk, toxins, to every part of your body, causing you to look as if you've been put in a cooker and boiled. Boiled or put in an oven and put on fire for almost how many days, I don't know. Because when Allah created human beings, He said, human beings, your bodies do not know how to remove alcohol, toxic gunk, toxins from the body. A human body does not have the mechanisms and does not know how to remove alcohol, toxic gunk, toxins from the human body. And for that, Allah said, human beings, do not put alcohol in your bodies because it's dangerous, it's deadly, it will make your bodies very, very uncomfortable if you do put alcohol in your bodies. In modern times, because some people have been drinking alcohol for so long, they've even developed disorders which are become hereditary, which have evolved into hereditary diseases, which are passed on from one generation of human beings to another, causing disorders, what we would say upgrading disorders. They may begin as little disorders, but because even in the next generation, there's an echo in her body, an alcohol echo in her system, she'll end up using alcohol, and after using alcohol, her system will be either degraded or upgraded, the disorder degraded or upgraded, and may end up either making even worse damage to the genetic structure of human beings. So, alcohol is forbidden by a divine law, a holy divine law, or what you call a holy divine prescription, because of the dangers that alcohol does to the human body. Many of you, I think you went through what you call the festive seasons, with every bottle of alcohol every other one. And today we are still almost in the festive season, I think. But my people, I'll tell you something about your health. Your health is your responsibility as an individual, because when you are not able to use your legs or your joints, it's you who feel the pain, not me, or not the GP, not the doctor, not the care assistant. It's you who go through that whatever that excruciating pain. Easy, it's you. When you cannot lie down properly, when you cannot stand up properly, it's you who is going through that pain. Why? Because you took on you abused a law which is a holy divine law that restricts that prohibits you from abusing your own body when you get in the later years. Sometimes these days, even young men end up losing the ability to either walk or whatever, because of the dangers or the alcohol that has caused in their entire bodies. So if you lose the ability to walk, that means you have to spend most a week has 5 or 6 days. You spend 3 days running to the hospital, trying to ask a physician or a doctor or whatever that Yesterday I couldn't do this, and they said whatever says, I'll check what causes that. And the other day, because alcohol is still in the gunk of the toxic gunk is in your body. Every time it spends in your body, it alters the way your muscles. Because remember that every cell in your body was disabled by alcohol toxin gunk. Every day, the temperature will be different from outside. That will cause the alcohol inside your body, which is circulating or moving in every part of your body, due to the fact that it attached itself on every blood cell in your body. If the temperature is different, they say that temperature will affect the inside of how you feel, and you find that the pain which was kind of dissipating last night, it has come in again, and so on and so on. Because I told you that a human body does not have the mechanisms and does not know how to remove alcohol toxin gunk from the human body. Once you put alcohol in your body, it just sinks in every part of your body, causing, and after a long time, when you've taken it for a long time, what will happen is that instead of your body functioning properly, it will be alcohol that run things in your body. So you will find that your liver it's not working properly, because when alcohol enters the human liver, it kills it straight away. When alcohol enters the human body, the first thing it kills, because it kills the liver, and the liver keeps absorbing, because the liver is like a sponge. It absorbs until its functions that are where mechanisms were original mechanisms that of helping the body to clean up or do things was cut off. What is in the liver is alcohol. It's filled up, and that will lead to to damage your pancreas. It will damage your kidneys. It will damage even your blood pressure will go up. It will either go up or down, or it will become abnormal. So that you need assistance from a doctor to give you tablets so that your blood pressure is kind of stable, because your blood is already the entire blood system is disabled completely. So my people, young men especially, young men and young women, do understand that the responsibility to your health, or to you being in good health, lies entirely to you alone. The same way you would go and choose what you want to eat on breakfast, it's the same way that you're supposed to make sure that do not put things that are not good for your health. If you chose to drink or to have a bread in the morning and a fruit in the afternoon and what have you, that is what you're supposed not to put alcohol. As I told you when we started this conversation, is that alcohol is forbidden by a divine holy law or a divine holy prescription, that alcohol alters the genetics, the original birth genetics of a human being. Causing in women, it causes so many things. Alcohol changes so many things in a woman, starting with the menstrual cycles. Once alcohol enters a woman's body, all the toxic alcohol gunk elements, they end up in the reproductive system of a woman. causing, and once they enter into the reproductive system, those toxic gang elements, they enter into the ovaries and embed themselves on the lining of the ovary of a woman. Once an egg goes into the ovaries, the lining, which is supposed to be something, not alcohol, what the egg finds there is alcohol toxic gang. So it sits on the alcohol toxic gang, and the gang sinks. The toxic alcohol toxic toxin sinks in the egg, in the ovaries of a woman, causing the egg to be contaminated with what we call all genetically contaminated and altered, so that when that woman becomes pregnant, she'll pass whatever she used to drink onto her offspring, as it may occur as disorders, may say mental disorders, health disorders, and so many things, causing a child that she maybe the woman will have. Some of the children are severely disabled. Some are a little bit not severely disabled. So, young women, I know you think that the culture it tells you that there's no culture that tells human beings that drink alcohol. I will tell you today, as a woman, you are not supposed to put alcohol in your body, because I will show you something that is very, 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 very open to you as who are listening, who are watching. That when you are, as a woman, do you know that you are very vulnerable? Even when you are walking outside, you are not drunk, but you feel vulnerable. Have you ever felt like that when you are walking on the street or somewhere, you feel a little bit vulnerable? Like it's in the nature, whatever the woman feels needs protection. Needs protection, needs to be protected. But I'll tell you something, I'll show you something that is very, very common in women who drink alcohol. Because if we say that you feel vulnerable and unprotected in a normal way, that you're walking and you feel a little bit unsafe and unsecure. You feel as if you're not protected. Imagine when you have put alcohol in your body and you are in a group of young crazy men. You are in a group with men. So the first thing is, once a woman puts her alcohol in her body or in her mouth, the first thing that goes out of her head is reasoning accountability to security of herself. She won't be able to reason that maybe I don't need this man, or I don't know this man. I've never seen this man. I've never spoken to this man. I don't need him. I don't know him. And I don't know where he comes from. I don't know what disease he may be carrying. I don't know who he is. That reasoning accountability is taken away once you put alcohol in your body. And you become very, very open to what we call predators. Predators. When I say predators, they call them sex predators. So you are drunk. You can't reason for yourself. So those predators, they will do anything that you wouldn't like to do, or you wouldn't like to look at. So my people, young men and women, young women especially, the responsibility to your health, to have to be able to walk properly, to look beautiful, to look healthy, to reason with accountability, relies solely to you as an individual, not to me as a doctor, not to me as a physician, not to me as whatever. Your responsibility to look after your health, that you are protected, you are safe. You're protected from going to people and say, I feel like this now, I need this. Your responsibility is to look after your health. That is your first responsibility. Because your life, in modern times, life is like, your life is your capital. Is what you say, I'm healthy. If you're healthy, I'll employ you. If you're not healthy, nobody can employ you. If your health is okay, you'll be able to get a job. You'll be able to carry on. You have your own whatever. But if you're not healthy, no one can employ you. So, the most common thing that causes healthy conditions or alters the way your body looks after you is alcohol, because alcohol is not a part of the menu. There's no anything in alcohol that it supports the blood system. There's nothing in alcohol that is a part of the blood in a human body. In alcohol, there's not a single element of alcohol is useful to the either the red blood cells or the white blood cells. So you don't need alcohol whatsoever. You don't need alcohol whatsoever. You don't need any drop of alcohol in your body, because as I told you, once alcohol enters your body, your body does not know and does not have the mechanisms to remove those what you call elements and alcohol toxin gunk from your human body system. So the responsibility to look after your health is solely with you as an individual. Once you are healthy, happy, maybe you would like your friends to look at your friends who you think they are out of order because of alcohol, and tell them, alcohol is not good for you. Alcohol is not good for you. That's why you ended up being whatever. Just advice. Alcohol is not good for you. It's not good for you. No, alcohol is not good for any woman or any man, let alone when you are young or even when you are older. Because as I showed you, alcohol sits in a human body because the body doesn't have the mechanisms or the know-how to remove those alcohol, whatever. After a few years, when you get around 40, 35, 40, you start getting joint whatever pain. In a few whatever months, it will become arthritis. It will be diagnosed as arthritis. That is alcohol degradation of muscles, of every muscle tissue in your body. And if you are a young girl who has never touched alcohol in her life, and you are around 20, and then there's a girl of maybe 25 or 30 who drinks alcohol every day, and they put a mirror in front of you, each on there, and that's why they say, look in the mirror and look at your skin. A girl who has never touched alcohol, her skin will be sparkling, radiant, and beautiful and healthy. But the skin of a girl who drinks alcohol, her skin will be as if she's been put in an oven, cooked again and again and again. So that is the effect, and that effect of being cooked again and again goes in the body of a person who drinks alcohol every hour, every day. And it goes on and on and on, and that's what causes the degradation, the damage to the brain neurons, as well as to the entire organs of the human body. So, my people, my friends, I don't know whether you want me to call you a friend or you to call me a friend. I'm just trying to show you that you did not need really to damage your brain on in festive season, because maybe after a few weeks or a few months, you might find yourself that you need to see a doctor, because the headache keeps coming back, because the brain neurons takes a very long time to repair themselves. They take a very, very, very long time to repair themselves. So my advice to you, my fellow human beings, do not consume alcohol. It is forbidden by a natural or by a holy divine law. Or alcohol alters the genetics of human beings. All I can say, I think if you listen to this whatever, make sense of what I've said, and look forward for a New Year's resolution, probably to use less alcohol, or don't use alcohol at all. You'll find that your sleep is back in its, or is kind of getting back in its order. After a month of not putting alcohol in your body, you'll find that even body ache in your body have kind of clearing. What I had not told you is that if a human being drinks alcohol, that if you drank alcohol today and you said I'll never touch alcohol again, it will take 9 months and more, 9 months for a human body to restart, to reset, and begin as if try and get back to as if the very day you had been when you had never put alcohol in your body. And with that, you need very special foods that cleanses and supports the blood to kind of push the toxic gunk out of the system of your blood, red and white blood system. You need to eat very special foods, and those foods, some of them are, I don't know whether they're expensive or whatever, but that it takes 9 months for a human body to start kind of rebooting, going back to its normal, original, whatever it was before you touched alcohol. So that's my advice. Do not use alcohol, my children. Do not use alcohol, because if arthritis occurs in your body, in your legs, I'm not part of it. I don't suffer when I'm walking. It's you who will either need support to stand up or to support to walk. It's you, not me. So my advice to you, it's the same way you prepare to buy a mortgage and whatever. The same way you should even do it more. Take it very important. Make it one of the most important goals. That in your older age, you'll be able to look after yourself properly without a body ache in your body. So that's all I can say to you. Happy New Year. Look forward for a new year whereby alcohol is not a part of the menu on your dining table, or no, on whatever that you put on your dining table. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.